Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So let's talk about the classic 3 sets of 10 setup that so many people do. And let me help you just kind of immediately upgrade your training, even if you're just kind of on the Wing It program. So what the Wing It program is you show up to the gym, you head over to the bench, you go 3 sets of 10 on the bench, then you look around at some machines and you do 3 sets of 10, you just kind of go around. So why is 3 sets of 10 killing your gains? The real answer is it's not. What's killing your gains is the lack of variation here and the lack of overload that lack of variation kind of contributes to. So to create stimulus in the muscles, what we need to do is give it a novel stimulus. So what we can do, and it doesn't need to be constantly different every single week, even programs like the Westside Barbell Conjugate System, where they're known for doing a different exercise every single week, they still don't do a different exercise every single week. They'll go on 2-3 week mini cycles, even longer, and then especially in their accessory work, they'll kind of stick with exercises a little bit longer, but they do vary things a lot. So what we're looking for is to stick with an exercise long enough to take advantage of adaptations, but then change exercises fast enough where we don't stall out. So what we typically see is, we'll just take 3 sets of 10 here, is if you start and you do 3 sets of 10 and it's your first time doing it either in a while or ever, you're kind of able to do this much weight. Then the amazing thing is, even if you sit here and you feel like, oh my gosh, I could not do any heavier, you come back the next week and you can do this much weight. Same thing, you might feel like there's no possible way I can do more. You adapt again, you can do this much. Maybe another one, and then what we start seeing are kind of marginal diminishing returns on your progress here, and then it can actually start going the wrong way. So what we need to do to continue our progress is add variation here. We can add variation either to the exercise, so we'll just use the classic bench press. So how can we add variation to the bench press? We can change implements. So most people are going to do it with the barbell. So what we can do is grab dumbbells. We can grab kettlebells. We can change grips. We can go narrower. We can go wider with it. We can change angles. So we can go decline. We can go incline. We can change it to pressing overhead. We can also vary the load. So how much weight is on it. And if we're varying the load, we're going to need to vary the reps. So there is a chart out there called Prilepin's chart. Oh man, I'm going to misspell it. I probably should have planned this one out. I'm sure Google will say, did you mean this? Anyway, Prilepin's chart, what it does is it's kind of the gold standard that powerlifters and Olympic weightlifters typically use to come up with appropriate rep schemes. So instead of going 3 sets of 10, those sets of 10 are usually going to be between like 55 and 65%, and that's just going to be what's possible here. You could get up into the 75% range, maybe not for 3 sets, but that's just kind of what's possible on those sets of 10. So as you go up in weight, the number of reps you're going to be able to do is going to decrease. So what you can do is, what I recommend is taking advantage of these adaptations either for 2 to up to 5 weeks. So you can do a bench press 3 sets of 10 2 to 5 weeks with your goal of adding variation through the load. Then after that, it's time for a new cycle. We'll move on to a new exercise, and we could change that exercise up. We can add variation to it by changing the sets and reps. What I recommend is doing both. So we'll just change it, and we're going to go decline bench press, and we'll just say we're going to change these reps from 10 down to 6. And so what you can do with Prilepin's chart is you can kind of look up and you can see how many total reps do I need to do, or how many total reps are reasonable to do in sets of 6 if I'm going to put together the appropriate amount of work. And what you'll probably find is these sets of 6 is you're going to end up anywhere from kind of that 65% range. In sets of 6, you could get up like 6 rep max stuff is going to be in the like low 80s, but you'll probably be working up to like 75%, possibly 80% doing sets of 6. My guess is Prilepin's chart will tell you to do 4 sets of 6, about 24 total reps there. So what you can do is you can start at the low end here and just kind of start your way at the 65% range and do sets of 6, probably 4 of them, working your way up just to kind of see where it takes you. Then you can go deeper. We can go sets of 3. But what you're going to find is as we start moving up, the number of sets we're going to have to do is going to have to change. And it's not going to be just equal volume, the number of reps times the weight you do. It's going to change based on effort level. So there's kind of an exponential curve to this stuff. So using Prilepin's chart and learning how to just kind of look at it, it's a little confusing at first, but it's actually a very simple thing once you kind of get to know it. And it's a real easy reference point. Really what I like to do is use it for where I'm going to start, and then I just worry about adding weight as long as my technique looks good, trying to add weight every single week. And I'm just looking at, I usually just keep it simple and I go four weeks in a row, same exercise, trying to increase weight, figuring out the number of sets I'm going to do based off of Prilepin's chart and the number of reps I'm doing, just trying to increase, and then I'm trying to vary it for a new cycle and vary it. And I'll do this for a series of exercises, so bench press, bent over rows, pull-ups, all of these things. And all I'm looking to do is take advantage of adapting to it short term and then changing the exercises up before I get that stall out point. I hope this helps. All right, talk to y'all soon.